Hello, brave, beautiful warrior soul friends. Happy Self-Care Saturday. We are Self-Love Saturday. I get them mixed up, so Saturday and Sunday. We are here just to hang out with you guys and answer any healing journey questions you may have. We are open to chatting about whatever is going on in your world.
Yeah. Hello, soul friends. Hello. Hi, friends. Hi, friends. How's it going, friends? Yeah. Well. Oh, I see. Hello, soul friends. Hello, friends.
Yeah, so just a little live Q&A. If you have any kind of healing journey questions, we are here to discuss them. This healing journey can be pretty intense, and it's hard to know where to go for resources and such. So we want to be a resource for you. We're just gonna hang out and leave it open to questions.
Yeah, hi, friends. Yeah, hi, friends. Going to go. Hi, friends. Hello, friends. Yeah. Whoa. Two to go. Yeah, it's just a... Oh, yeah?
Sorry, we're just adding a comment here.
Two to go.
Hello, soul friends. We used to do live streams on Instagram fairly regularly, but once we we're mainly doing them in our private group for Patreon, we stopped doing them as often, and so we wanted to give you guys a space here just to answer, or just to ask any questions that may be coming up. We have gone through a lot of different things in the last 15 years with our mental health, and everything we know now was stuff that we wish we had known back then, and despite all of our hunting down, none of the resources had any helpful insights, and so we want to be a resource for the community that we built here last year. Hey, I'm really enjoying the book you recommended. I'm not done yet, but it's helping me understand how to unblend and blend, be co-conscious when the time calls for it. I'm so happy to hear that. Are you talking about this one, Janina Fisher's book? It is so good. Yeah, the multi-conscious parts approach really provides a new opportunity for healing that didn't exist before. Not needing to explore the trauma in order to heal has provided so many healing opportunities that didn't exist in standard treatment. So I'm really proud of you for reclaiming your power and pursuing this. We had to read it about 2 or 3 times to fully know how to grasp it and in an applicable manner. It's definitely a lot of information, but definitely worth pursuing, and it is the foundation of the dissociative identity movement, and so I'm really excited that more people are getting an opportunity to check it out.
Yeah, if you have any questions about it, you let us know, because I had someone to ask questions to when I was reading it, so we promised we would be that for other people when we was reading it. Yeah, we're just here to help if we can.
One of the things I guess that's what I'll do. And until there's other questions, I will share some of the things I wish I had known back then.
Oh yeah, look at its nice comments. Aw, we uploaded new YouTube videos, and we were really nervous about it, and getting the nice comments makes our heart happy. Yes.
So one of the things I wish I had known a few years ago was that the way the mental health care system is set up. Because I went in genuinely believing they are people with vast knowledge intending to do whatever it takes to help. That's what doctors do, right? Right? But the basis of the whole mental health care system is how can we quickly diagnose and quickly treat? It's all about efficiency and that efficiency route is all about medications. And so the reason that doctors are not trained to look for things like dissociation is because dissociation can't be treated with medication, but psychosis can. And so they are literally trained to look for the symptoms that can be medicated. They're not trained to look for anything that can't be treated with their chemicals to make them money. And so, yeah, maybe the individual people had good intentions going into this field, but on like a larger scale, the entire mental health like industry, if you will, is based on psychiatric treatment and medications. Like, you usually can't actually get an official diagnosis from a therapist. You usually have to go through a psychiatrist. And so it's all about medications. And psychiatrists, of course, are trained to prescribe and trained about things that require or can be helped with prescriptions. And so when we are going into this mental health care system, yes, get help. Yes, go seek out. Yes, trust your doctor. But yes, also be open-minded and know that there could be things that they're not necessarily looking for, and know that they're only coming from one perspective. And if you're not being helped by that system, don't keep going back to the system. It's not going to change. And a lot of psychiatric medications can actually be swapped out with natural supplements, but they're not going to tell you that because it would put them out of a job. So I wish I had known that a few years ago. Do you have amnesia between you and Ocean, or are you able to be conscious and together?
Oh, yeah, too? That's a great question.
We were actually just telling our chiropractor about that. I was misdiagnosed as bipolar psychosis for 14 years, shaking my head. Feel that. Yeah, we were misdiagnosed also. And like, it took so many years to put words to our experience. And when we finally did, we just thought we were psychotic. We thought we were crazy. And to now be going back and validating all those things that were invalidated, it brings us to tears every freaking day. And I'm just like, I don't want others to go through this. So that's why I've like, you're like, tell me your questions. I need to do something with this knowledge. Yeah, I feel that. I feel that. And stories like that will be really, really beneficial for the dissociative identity movement. So I'm really grateful that you're here and being a part of this mental health healing journey, because these stories are what make a difference. You know, when it's just talked about on a bigger scale, it's like, well, I don't care. Not my problem. When it's face-to-face person, it's like, I went through over a decade of being treated for the wrong thing because you guys couldn't care enough to get it right. Like, it's a community thing. We all have to care together. Anyway, tangents. tangents. So, amnesia. Ocean and I used to have complete amnesia. When we would switch, this is so intense and so surreal to talk about. We're new at processing, because we do all our processing and typing most of the time, so to talk about it feels weird, especially like after the fact, not like during. Yeah, exactly, Haley. It's a societal thing. I'm glad you agree, and I'm grateful for this community to heal together, because on our own, it's just, it takes a lot longer, and it's not as much fun, and it's a lot less possible to do the depth of healing that we really want. So, yay for community. I think I'm gonna go through, I was nervous, but maybe I'll do this. I think I can actually go through and like tag all the people in the community. I was just like nervous to like, I think it was our submit parts. We were literally afraid that we would like interrupt people's day and people would be mad and not want to be our friends anymore because of sending an invitation to a live video. Like, really blended today. So basically, me and Ocean used to have complete amnesia. When we would switch, it was literally a full switch of consciousness. We had no idea what was going on, or where we were, or who we were, or what year it was, or what we were supposed to be doing, or how we were supposed to be behaving. It was just complete panic, complete amnesia. Had no idea what was happening. Had no idea why we switched because of the amnesia in that time and everything. And so it was really, really, really intense. And basically the way that our consciousness has formed, the formation of consciousness has occurred over the years, is that me, Felicity, the going on with normal life self in the left brain hemisphere, has like the most I would say the most intense disconnect from Ocean. She's the one that holds our original trauma, the core trauma, if you will, the foundational trauma within the consciousness, within the subconscious neural pathways. And so this was still the case even just a few months ago. And then what was happening was Bambi, sorry, I'm almost done. Okay, boom, sent out all the invites. Okay. You guys get me at the gym every Saturday, but love working out to this live stream. That makes me so happy. Gym empowerment. That makes Kingsley goes back in the head and plays on his little rock out playlist, and then Coral goes back in the head and plays her rap playlist. That's so funny. No worries. No need to chat. I'm grateful you're here, soul friend. Thank you, Haley. I didn't know you could tag people too. That's awesome. Yay, Rebecca! You're Rebecca Riley. Oh my gosh, it's so cool when multiple of my parts of consciousness have a relationship with someone, because when we interact with them, it's like a much more real experience and also much more like passionate, because there's multiple parts feeling something, and it causes the intensity of the feeling to be magnified because there's multiple of us feeling that one thing. And so with Becca Riley especially, where so many different parts, like our fight parts, even everyone connects. It's like, we all come alive. So Ocean and Felicity. And so the disconnect used to be this complete huge switch. And so what was happening was Bambi lived between Felicity and Ocean within the consciousness. And Bambi actually integrated in December, so 2 months ago. And since then, the co-consciousness between Felicity and Ocean has increased. It's been really, really fascinating. And so at first, it was like this, it was just like really obvious one day. I think it had to do with the chiropractic treatment that helped lead to breakthroughs. And then we responded to those breakthroughs with all the tools we had, so we could process things and not just be stuck in symptoms after, a breakthrough, all these things unleashed, and then we gotta like transform it so it doesn't just go ham again. But the first thing that happened with that co-consciousness experience was the switch no longer caused full amnesia. So Felicity could know what was happening a moment ago when Ocean was out, and vice versa. And then after a few weeks of continued trauma work, and that's on like a variety of fronts. We have a 5 times a day meditation practice, a daily yoga practice, 3 times a week chiropractic treatment, and he's doing a case study, so we're learning all about the brain-body connection within my dissociative identity. We do daily or weekly. It's kind of as needed at this point, but it usually ends up being about 2 to 3 times a week, sometimes once a week when things are not as chaotic. Transforming trauma, we do our own therapization. We therapize ourselves, and we use the language of parts and dual awareness and radical reframing and unconditional self-compassion, and a lot of different grounding techniques in that process and everything. So there's a lot of things that go into it. But through the trauma work, through the trauma work we've done, Felicity and Ocean gained the ability to switch back and forth a lot quicker. And now it's just like back and forth so rapidly that we don't lose any consciousness. It's really, really wild. So co-consciousness is definitely on a spectrum. That's like the biggest thing I've learned. While myself and Phoenix have mild psychosis when our BPD acts up and we don't sleep, our mood stabilizers stop that aspect, and CBD cared of everything else. CBD was a game changer for me. Less anxiety and grounds me. I'm so thrilled to hear that. Yes, CBD is transformative, and I'm still learning about it. My best friend works in the CBD industry, and I'm hoping he can explain a little bit more to me, or help me learn about it more. But we have CBD receptors in our body. And so the way that you can be deficient in serotonin and go get on an antidepressant, you can be deficient in cannabinoids and get on CBD and have it change your life. But it's all natural. There's no side effects. There's no such thing as overdosing. Like, it's insane. And there's no cognitive effects. Like, there's no, you don't get high like with medical marijuana, and you don't get the fogginess like with psychiatric medications. You just get this innate clarity. CBD is extremely transformative, and it can help with depression, anxiety, insomnia, nausea, digestion, clarity of thought, intrusive thoughts, the inability to be present because of anxiety or flashbacks or literally anything. It helps with so many things. I'm really, really happy to hear that. That's awesome.
Yeah. All right, guys, I'm waiting for your questions. I'm here to help you if you're healing dirty things. Where to go to?
Ocean's laugh. Oh my god. Oh, the body sensations when we switch still feel so intense though. Let's see. What else? What else do I wish I had known while I wait for your questions? Over here smiling at Ocean. Yay! Fight Part's here, so try not to say too much. You're allowed to talk. And now that I know that, I can put whatever you say in that perspective, so that helps. Because I know how Fight Parts talk, and I know their natural talking voice comes across as aggressive. Like, that's just how it is. You're still allowed to talk. I bet your Fight Parts have some questions. They might be angry about it, but they might have some. It's all allowed. I encourage you to speak. Hello, Winter! Oh, I'm so excited you're here. We're so looking forward to someday, potentially, you joining Healing Journey Homeschool. And every time we do live streams, we're like, I wish Winter was here. And now you get to be here for this one, so yay! If you have any questions, we would love to hear them. Love, love, love. Rebecca, ask us something. Ask us something.
Where do you want to know? I want to tell you things, but I don't know.
We're gonna be goobers till you give us questions. Yeah, but we don't want to trigger anyone in relationships like we do. So I completely understand, but I challenge you not to let the fear stop you. I know you, and I love you, and I'm the one responding to you right now. And I understand how Fight Parts talk, and I will know what they mean when they're speaking, and I will respond accordingly. And I give you my word on that. In this moment, I am grounded enough for that. For certain.
Starshine! I'm a good dude. I'm a starshine. Go to Starshine. Go to Starshine.
How are you? I am doing all right. It's been a really tough day. We just had a huge breakdown and we were sobbing in our truck, and we did some trauma transformation and shared it on Patreon. And we are here to make the most of our day despite how we feel. What is this hair doing? It's just like, can't really decide. I don't know. I'm just a flippy floppy day, you know? Oh my goodness, thank you. My heart is so happy. Yay for happy hearts. I'm all about happy hearts. Hello, Lass. I love that. Can you make a video about original and core and host? Those terms still confuse us. Absolutely. I would love to share about that right now. I just saw that trauma transformation post. Yay, Haley.
We always appreciate when we get to share our healing with you, because it's so intense, but then it's not as intense when we get to share it with our friends. You know what I mean? You believe in chakras. I love you so much. Yes, chakras are actually a foundational piece of our healing journey. I can totally talk about that a little if you would like. So, original, core, and host. So original is a myth. It's not a real term. It's something that doctors used before more was understood about dissociative identity disorder. There was no original, because the way that dissociative identity develops, and we're trying to upload a video about this on Instagram right now, but it like literally spent 4 hours and still hadn't uploaded this video. So it's getting there. But basically how a dissociative identity forms,
For all people, the left and right brain hemispheres operate very independently of one another throughout early childhood. And through those early developmental years of early childhood, the neural pathways very gradually form and connect the two brain hemispheres and other parts of the brain and the lobes and all the things. And then between ages 6 and 8, you form a baseline personality, which just means that the foundation of your subconscious has been built so that things can be built on top of it. And then by age 12, and not until age 12, the left and right brain hemispheres have the ability to completely communicate. And so everyone's brains for the first 10 years or so are in this very malleable state where things are not yet connected. Nobody has a baseline personality yet when they're little. It's being formed. And that's why they call it your like formative years, like those early years. It's where the baseline of who you become happens on a neurobiological level. And so when structural dissociation occurs, and especially with dissociative identity disorder, because it is the highest level of intensity within structural dissociation, the left and right brain hemispheres never integrate. They continue developing completely independently of one another. And this causes other aspects of the brain and brain lobes and connections to be affected as well. And so there is no original part within that. You could use that word like in conversation of like discussion, but in terms of like official terms, there generally isn't like an original. Core and host. We use the term core to describe the original parts, using it in discussion, but not as an official term. The parts that were involved in the core development in the early years. So for us, it's Felicity in the left brain hemisphere and Ocean in the right brain hemisphere. And then other parts kind of grew on top of those parts from there. And so Ocean is our core, which means for us that she holds our core trauma, meaning the reason that we live with a dissociative identity, the core of our dissociative identity, the original thing that caused our dissociative identity, and then everything else formed around that from there, from that original stressor that caused the brain to not integrate as it was intended to. That core trauma, whatever parts hold that. And so for us, that is Ocean. She is our core. And what that means is that the other parts formed around it. And so when this part is triggered, the other parts of consciousness get triggered because it's the core. It's literally at the center of the other trauma-related parts of consciousness. So it has a deeper significance than just a label, and that can be why it is important to identify it. Because if we know who's at the center, we can kind of go prioritize them, and it's actually going to help the other parts of consciousness. Oh, shoot, low battery. Let me grab my charger. And then host simply means whatever part of consciousness is out most frequently. The part that other people would think that you are because you interact as that part most frequently. And that part can change. For us, it was trauma-related parts for a while. In 2013, it was Xena. In 2014, it was a blend of Xena and Kingsley for the first half of the year and Lila for the second half of the year. In 2015, it was Xena again. In 2016, it was mostly Misty and a little bit of some other parts. So it can change. 2017, it was Roxy. 2018, it was a lot of Davina. And some other parts also, but I would say she influenced that year more than any other part. And then now we are striving with intention and daily action with our attention to prioritize the going on with normal life self, being the host, because that's how we can create healing opportunities to build internal secure attachments and actually heal, not just cope from day to day. I hope that helps. If you have any other questions about that, just let me know. chakras is next, I believe. So if there are any follow-up questions, just let me know. If you guys have any other questions, just let me know. I am here to chat with you guys for as long as this works out for. Yeah. Dang, cannot rotate your phone. How can I prop this up? Let's see. I'm a clever person. There's gotta be a way. There. It's sitting right here, leaning its back against the scissors. There's a will, there's a way. Okay, so. Oh, come on, I just had it. Good enough. Once it's charged, I'll take it off and you guys can see me better. I just get tired of holding it. Chakras. So, do you know anything about chakras, or should I start from baseline?
Oh, yeah?
Do you have a routine for what to do if you're intimidated about doing something? I've always been told, just do it, but sometimes it's too scary. Yeah, so if you're trying to just do it, that's attempting to communicate with conscious awareness when all of the fear is coming from your subconscious. So you're speaking a foreign language to your fear, and it's not going to work. Addressing that fear is all about going inside and spending time with the subconscious. So I have a lot. I could talk for hours about that. That's exactly what we go over in Healing Journey Homeschool. Meditation, grounding rituals, chanting, aromatherapy, tactile grounding, affirmations, self-love rituals, self-care rituals, humming, aromatherapy, singing, journaling, those are just a few. There's a lot. Laughter, meditation, there's a lot you can do. But it's all about focusing on how the subconscious communicates, because that's where the fear is coming from. And the conscious awareness and the subconscious have completely different languages. So if we're only using the conscious awareness to communicate to that fear, it's not going to do anything. And just pushing yourself is actually abusing your subconscious, because you're neglecting it and going through and doing exactly what it's afraid of anyway. And that can feel very abusive with the way that the subconscious experience life, which is why we will get things like anxiety. Anxiety is communication from our subconscious. Self-loathing, those thoughts of just, I don't like who I am. That's all communication from the subconscious. And so when we abuse and neglect it, it abuses us by creating these negative experiences we know as mental illness or mental health symptoms. So, yeah.
I hope that helps. I love to share this.
So chakra, okay, so none of the other trauma-related parts are triggered independently of ocean. Yes. Yeah, they're triggered independently of ocean. Yes, they're all still their own individual parts. But we can't address every single part of consciousness in any given moment. And so if we can get to the core, that's where a lot of things are coming from. And a lot of times these parts get triggered because this part's triggered. Not always, but sometimes. And so going down here and getting down to the baseline of our consciousness is going to always be the most effective way. The same way anyone is going to have more effective healing if they go nurture their inner child than if they just try to heal their adult self, because healing your inner child gets to the baseline of your consciousness, and the deeper you go within your consciousness, the deeper the healing is that you're going to create for yourself. I need to get into Healing Journey Homeschool. Oh my gosh, I know, girl, I know. I think that every time we talk, I'm like, but this is all there. I just want to share it. Thank you. That makes so much sense. Oh my gosh, you're so smart. Oh, you're such a doll. That means so much. I'm glad that was helpful. I'm really glad that was helpful. You're very knowledgeable. Thank you so much, soul friend. That really means a lot. It's been a tough journey, and the knowledge has come through a lot of pain. And so if I can pass it on, that helps me heal my pain. I know a little about chakras, but not much. I just got a chakra meditation yoga book, so it's kind of a lot. Awesome possum. So, potentially, actually, I could, there's Udemy. Udemy, there's this online thing. They have, go at your own pace courses for pretty inexpensive. They had, a big sale thingy, and I got one on chakras. So if you can't afford Healing Journey Homeschool, try to get one of their sales. They're like $10 when they're actually like on sale. Focused on chakra question. Please don't feel the need to rush, by the way. I love all your comments. This is exactly what I want this time to be, a discussion. How do you know if a chakra's block or needs work? Oh, that's a great question. Okay, so perfect. That's a great starting point. So yeah, I'm taking a class now, and this month we're actually working on our root chakra. So we have 7 chakras. They are energy centers within our body, our energetic being body, and it affects our physical health, our mental health, and our emotional health. And so we have a physical body, a mental body, and an emotional body, and a spiritual body. And we have to care for all of them to experience the high quality of life that we really deeply crave. And so...
Oh, yeah? I know, they distracted us.
That's my dissociated face. Can always tell. Okay, one sec. Okay. Oh, our aromatherapy went off. Let's fill it with some more oils. Dun 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 dun. Sorry, one sec, guys. We are going to...
Wait, I want to show you, but I can't. It won't let us.
We're filling our oils. Where is... So that I can make my brain work again. Gonna turn my brain back on with smells. If I can find my water bottle. I found the water bottle. Dum, 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 dum.
Dum, 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 dum,
Getting grounded. It does that. Okay. Let's see. Let's do lavender. 6 drops. Let's do tea tree. Come on. 3 drops. And frankincense. 2 drops. Oops. Rosemary. 6 drops. Eucalyptus. 3 drops. 4 drops. 4 drops. Okay. And orange. 1 drop. Boom. Making my own blend. Okay. Now that I have smells to make my brain work again, I can come join you guys back in reality. Or a more mutually agreeable version of reality.
Oh my gooshness. Look it, I got my peas in a pod. Yeah, we are 2 peas in a pod.
Yeah, look at his little smiley face. One of my stimming toys. You guys are so sweet. I love you so much. Wonderful singing. Oh, encore, encore. Okay, absolutely. Let me think. I'm gonna talk about chakras, and then that's a great challenging question, Elizabeth. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love to be challenged. It helps my brain re-engage when it's getting shut down every 2 seconds because life. My existence is triggering. It's literally how I feel all the time. I can't handle my existence is triggering. Okay, so chakras, and then how I shared my diagnosis with family. So did you, actually, before I answer that, and then I'll talk about chakras, did you see my YouTube video? It was also shared on Patreon about how to share a DID diagnosis. I can't remember if you did or not, but that's basically how I shared it. I don't honestly know what else I would have to add at this particular time. So if you have seen it, just let me know if you have any like follow-up questions from that, because I'm really proud of you and I totally understand. It is very scary and I'm proud of you for letting go of what other people think. But yeah, family is tough. The other thing I would say about that though is attached parts and child parts are going to be the most sensitive to criticism from family, and because of that, protector parts and fight parts are going to be the most on guard, prepared to help with that. So my only other addition to what I have in that video on YouTube about how to share a DID diagnosis would be to very intentionally create a routine to do before talking to family and after talking to family, where you go through and do a bunch of different self-care things, especially grounding your body, and a bunch of different being present with part things, particularly unblending like ahead of time. Like when I know something's going to be triggering, I use the unblending ahead of time, and that helps me connect with parts before the trigger so that when we get triggered, it's less intense and we have more ability to respond, or potentially we don't even get triggered at all. But, you know, that's more down the road long term after we've done this over and over and over again. And so because of the way our neural pathways have formed, family triggers are going to get to the deepest part of our consciousness and affect every part of our being. And so if we can get there first with love, then whatever judgment comes from them can't touch us as severely. That's the only other thing I would specifically like add from that video. Yeah, I did see that video. Just everything in my family seems so drastically different. Yeah, totally. And it seems drastically different because of those neural pathways. And so the more time you spend doing that ahead of time work, where you're combating the judgment that's not there yet, the more you can break through those neural pathways and fill them with your love, and that love will actually protect you and your energy and your parts of consciousness. Having done it wrong sharing, I encourage spending a lot of time right before to disconnect from them in love, so as not to expect anything from them. Yes, agreed. Yeah, having that grounding ritual where you're letting go of the outcome, letting go of the need for them to respond a certain way, validating your courage to step up and share, and knowing that that's enough, and really just doing whatever it takes to be grounded in your truth so that other people's truth can't mess you up. That's like the biggest thing I've learned, because those deep neural pathways related with family, they're so deep, they affect every part of our being. We have to get there before other people do so that we can actually have our power in that situation. I hope that helps. And if you have any other questions, let me know. I love that question. I'm really proud of you. It was a great discussion question. So a little bit about chakras. And again, please let me know if you guys have any other questions. Jumping around is just kind of where we're at with flight parts being present today. So if we're all over the place, that's why. So chakras, we have these energy points in our bodies, and it affects all four aspects of our body: our physical body, our mental body, our emotional body, and our spiritual body. And each chakra has a particular kind of energy with a particular kind of purpose. And so I remember most of them, but let me Google it just to make sure I'm on the mark. And you can pretty easily find information about this, thankfully. I know some topics are difficult to find, like, reliable knowledge, but thankfully chakras, there's a lot more out there these days. So we have these 7 ones. The crown is here at the top of your head. Your third eye is between your eyebrows. Your throat is here. Your heart is in the middle of your chest, like right where your heart is, but a little bit over here, so it's in the middle. And then you have I always get the names of these two mixed up. Let me double check them real quick.
Yeah, I love the discussion. Every comment makes our world just light up with firecrackers. Yeah, I'll be your firecracker.
Sorry, my computer's being silly. Can I please see this webpage? Please. 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 No? Okay, I'll try another one. Thank you for being rude to me. I have more opportunity to practice patience and self-compassion. Okay. Yeah, here's a good link. blog.mindvalley.com/7chakras is a really, really good link. So after the heart, we have the solar plexus chakra right here. And then we have the sacral chakra right here. And then we have our root chakra, which is like here, like the base of our spine and like through. So like right here, like in our pelvic area, like the base of our spine. So each one has like a specific purpose, and they all have a different element associated with them, a different like type of energy, like masculine or feminine energy associated with them. They have a different color associated with them, different sound associated with them. Vacuuming happening, we dissociated. Hi, Caitlin! Oh, thanks for joining us. Just having a little Q&A time here. A little mental health Q&A. Okay. Sorry, dissociated again with the vacuuming happening. So putting on our coping music playlist and our noise-canceling headphones and smelling our smells and taking every moment as an opportunity for healing. Yeah, we have nature soundtracks playing on our laptop and keeps us calm while we work. Still happening. Okay, I'll try to keep talking. This is a great challenge for me. I'm so dissociated I can't even like see straight anymore. So each, let me turn this up. So each chakra has something represented with them. The crown chakra is like our connection to, oh man, my memory is not accessible at the moment. Okay. So the crown chakra is like our own personal consciousness and our access to other consciousness as well. So like spirituality and stuff like that. This is like imagination, the ability to have a vision, the ability to like create your life, the ability to like go inside and just be still. Your throat is your communication and self-expression. Your heart is like love and connection. Sorry, technology is just not working for me today. My brain's not working for me today. But that's normal. I just get those two mixed up and I don't want to say them wrong, that's all. Sacral and solar plexus and sacral, that's the one I get mixed up. Solar plexus is like your... I get the meanings of them too. Anyway, the ones here are like your self-worth and presence in the world and confidence and the ability to be grounded and stuff like that, and down to the root too. I'm not saying this well. I'm way dissociated. That really... It's still going. Oh my god. Why? Why do you have to be so responsible and freaking clean your house? Why? Yeah, this is your third eye chakra. Yes.
Yeah, isn't that what I said? Yeah, it's your third eye chakra. Yeah. Just checking. Okay, yeah, it's your third eye chakra.
That's what your third eye is. It's a chakra. Anyway, You can tell if they're blocked because the aspect of the role that chakra plays in your life is not a healthy one. If you can't express yourself, if you can't be grounded in who you are, if you can't imagine a beautiful, bright future and build a vision for yourself, if you can't connect with divine source, if you can't connect with spiritual moments of divine serenity, if you can't appreciate the love from others, if you can't feel passion, if you can't be in the present moment, if you can't be grounded, if you can't feel safe, if you can't, whatever the individual chakra is, their purpose is, if it's not functioning optimally and providing health and happiness in that aspect of your life, then it's blocked. Let me know what other questions you have. Basically, what happens with this question stuff is whenever we're dissociated, our frontal lobes are shut down. But when you ask us a question that we are excited to answer, it re-engages the brain. And so I literally can't keep talking until you ask us something. So just an FYI what that actually means. Like when I say I'm waiting for a question. Asked you a question. So what are the comments? Let me double check. Oh, okay. Thank you. Sorry, I didn't see that. Thank you very much. I don't know how I didn't see this. Technology be trippy when dissociated, I guess. Each of the chakras correspond to glands in the body. Pineal, thymus, thalamus, etc. Yes, exactly. Advice for dealing with what feels like a freeze response. I know you said grounding, but it's so hard to push past feeling paralyzed. You don't push past it. You ground yourself. You don't have to push past anything to stay still and meditate. You don't have to push past anything to spray aromatherapy around your room and take deep breaths. You don't have to push past anything to be still and ground yourself and grab onto the tools you have. You're not supposed to push yourself. You're supposed to get grounded and then let your vision pull you. I don't know what else to say other than that. Yeah. Do you experience depersonalization much as you have healed? Yes, I am experiencing depersonalization. And just a heads up, we're probably going to go in about 5 minutes because we can't come back from that last trigger without medicine. So, sorry I got distracted. Jonathan just got me some Photoshop programs. Oh, that's awesome. Yay, I'm so proud of you. That's exciting. I love the artwork that you do. Yeah, let me know if you have any follow-up questions, Haley. I apologize if that's not the help you were hoping for, but the whole point of freeze is that you're not in the present moment, and that's why you're having that anxiety, and that's why you can't just push yourself. You're not here, so have compassion for that and honor that by showing up for yourself through that with all the tools that you have. You have lots of different tools. There's lots of different kinds of meditations you can use, grounding therapy. Okay, just checking. I just wanted to make sure that I didn't leave you without actual help you could apply. Yes, I experience a lot of depersonalization and derealization, and the difference between those that I found that makes it easier to understand is depersonalization has to do with my internal experience of self, whereas derealization has to do with external experience of reality, and both are caused by dissociation. And so depersonalization, derealization can both be helped with different grounding techniques. And anytime we can notice that things are symptoms, like when I feel like it's a different year and knowing that it's this year makes me anxious, that used to just feel like a quirk, or like I'm in denial, or I'm nostalgic, or I'm reminiscing, or I'm like whatever. Like there was always some like emotional explanation, but the reality is that my brain and body are literally not in the present moment, and I have to honor that in order to move through to healing. The only way out is through. You have to grow through what you go through in order to reclaim your personal power. And so yes, I experience depersonalization still, but it is not to the same extent that it was before, and the more we proceed towards healing, the more it will decrease. and the more I can stay grounded even when it does happen. Do you feel the parts in different parts of your brain? Because we do. It's so weird. Yes, absolutely. We're exploring that in the case study with our chiropractor also. Left brain hemisphere is going on with normal life self. Right brain hemisphere is trauma-related parts of consciousness. And from there, depending on the specifics happening and what lobes of the brain are activated and how weak or how strong that part of the brain is, which weak and strong only mean the parts that have been... Strong neural pathways just means they've been active a lot. The more neural pathways are activated, the stronger they get. So it's not like, oh, there's a part that's weak. It's not a bad thing. It's not a judgment the way that most people use it. Always taking away judgments and replacing with compassion. And so it's not that one's like weaker in a bad way, but part of the brain is literally weaker because it has not had the opportunities to be as active as the other parts within the brain. So when it does get active, it can cause like headaches and pains and stuff like that. And so right now we're in a process with our chiropractor. We did a whole week this week of bilateral brain balancing. And it literally gave the going on with normal life self a fighting chance to stay present because it helped to strengthen and bring forth activation in the left brain hemisphere when that was just shutting down all the time. Because there's one part in the left brain hemisphere and 12 parts in the right brain hemisphere. So this part's stronger just because it's active more often. And for this part to heal and bring balance to our system as a whole, we need to get it more active and stronger. And so we are working on that with bilateral brain balancing. And we also share all of the intimate details of our chiropractic healing journey on Patreon. It's very, very exciting. Did lots of bilateral brain balancing this week. I miss you too, Caitlin. So much. So much. And when you do feel those things in the brain, you can notice that it's communication from parts and respond accordingly. Using the knowledge from Janina Fisher's book, it can help reduce the intensity of things and actually help to foster moments of stillness and moments of clarity and moments of internal oneness and peace and joy and stuff eventually. Yeah. All right, I'll take one or two more questions and then I'm going to head out. Let me know what you got for me. Let me know. Let me know. Winter, are you still here? Did you have any other questions about the chakras? Like specific questions about like a specific chakra or anything? Do feather meditations and healing journey homeschool. Has anyone done that? People here who are on my Patreon, have you guys done the feather meditation? It's so good. So good. Davina did a great job with that one.
I want to know their questions.
Oh, that's cool. When I speak into the feather, I can feel the vibration down here. And I create vibrations here, I feel it down here. That's cool. Yeah. Well, if there's no more questions, I shall go. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I appreciated this opportunity to share some of the knowledge we've gained over the years. It's been a really long 15 years, but we're finally making sense of the madness. So I'll hang out another second in case you guys are typing a question, but if there's nothing, then we will just head on out.
Oh, you're welcome, so friends. I hope something of it could be helpful. I don't feel like I did I want to help. I don't feel like I did any helps. Yay, that sounds fun, Nigel. Bye, friend.
If you created any art recently. I mean, I suppose it depends what you mean by art. We did some like poetry yesterday. Made a poster last week. We're always journaling, creating stuff, but I don't know if you would call it art.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, friend. I'm really glad to hear that. I just want to help the world, and it's hard to find ways to. I was too busy to take my helps.
Too busy to take my helps, she says. Alright, soul friends, I guess we will head on out. It was a pleasure to hang out with you all. And I will, okay. I would love to do this more often. I think we'll do like a monthly or bi-monthly Q&A. So spread the word and bring your questions. We have a lot of different knowledge, but it's hard to dig up to it because of how our brain works unless there's a specific question. So there's no question too big or small or weird or unusual or scary or triggering. It's all allowed. So feel free to save those questions for next time or shoot them to me in a message so I could prepare ahead of time, whatever you prefer. And I will see you at our next live stream for the community of Kindred Connections. I love you so, so much.
Yeah, poetry is art. Basically, anything you create is art. Oh my goodness, then yes, I'm creating lots of art.
We record and share about 10 videos a day on Patreon, as well as typing things, different homework assignments we create for ourselves, and different worksheet brainstorm stuff. And we're working on a letter to a friend right now with a care package, and we're writing a speech to give next month, and we do some photography stuff when we can, but not as often. And we learned a new song on the guitar the other day. We shared that on Patreon too.
Yeah, I guess we did create art. Thanks, friend. Thanks for letting us share. Bye, friends. We love you all.